Hi, I'm Scott,
And I'm Sharla.
and we are at Sharla's house again for another episode of Humanity, Human-Shaped Learning.
Yes, and it's nice to have the opportunity to do it here.
It's awesome,
been
yeah.
fun.
Well, we decided it'd be really boring if we didn't take this show on the road. Not that we're going on the road like for audiences or anything, but just a change of environment.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, and when the weather gets warmer, maybe we'll take it back outside.
Yes. That was probably one of my favorites when we were in the canyon.
I really enjoyed
outside
that.
Your
Being
house
outside,
there.
it was
fun.
lots of fun. You know, we could get a green screen and just like put up videos of different environments, like go to Antarctic
Yes.
or have penguins in the background.
Because that'd be really realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People probably already have difficulty taking us very seriously. So maybe we shouldn't do that.
Probably not.
This is your episode, I believe.
It is. And we are on to the second theme this time.
What is that?
Relationships.
Relationships.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I actually chose a poem for a third thing today. I know, shocking.
Surprise.
Shocking.
Oh.
But I really love this, and it's actually kind of new to me.
Oh, terrific.
Haven't used this one with anything before.
Well, it's probably brand new to me because I don't think I looked at it. I think you sent it to me a little while back, and I didn't look at it yet.
Probably not, because you rarely look at the things I send you.
It's because I always want to have that wonderfully surprised look when you tell me about something.
Okay.
So,
Well, this is actually a poem by Joy Harjo.
oh, I love Joy Harjo. She's
do too.
awesome. She's
I do
really
too.
great.
And I have read quite a few of hers, but this one was kind of new to me. Perhaps the World Ends Here
Wow.
is the name
Terrific.
of the poem.
Well, we'll put this up on the screen for you.
So I'll give voice to it and see what you think.
Terrific.
All right. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought and prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table, we gossip, recall enemies, and the ghosts of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us as they put their arms around our children. They laugh with us at our poor falling down selves, and as we put ourselves back together once again at the table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table, and we have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table while we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah. That's great.
It gave me so many pictures just of times over the years where I've been gathered around a table.
Yeah.
I think back to being a child, and I came from, my grandparents were both farmers, and a lot of times we'd be all together on a weekend if there was a certain thing that they were doing on the farm, and so all the aunts and uncles were there and cousins, and we would be like 15 of us around this
Yeah.
one table.
Yeah.
And how it was squishy and tight, but full of laughter and love and arguing. You know, I mean, there was a little bit of all of that going on there, but that table was the gathering place. That was where we all actually came together to be together.
Well, there's everything there, and Yeah, all the wonderfulness, all the eating, all the family, all the and war, and death, and birth, and everything, and that's one of the things I think Joy Harjo is really, really good at taking something that is very everyday, just that table, and lifting it up to something that's human across around the. It's a table that we as all human beings gather around. You know.
It made me think of my own table that we have right now at our house, and we just moved here not long ago, and we got a new table when we moved here, which part of me was a little sad because our old table had so many memories with it, and our son still has that table. But I look at our table now, and it's so scratched up already. I was noticing the other day we need to maybe refinish it even. I mean, there's little bits of paint, and there's super glue droplets, and there's scratches and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then part of me is like, I don't want to get rid of that because that's the stuff of life.
Yeah.
When we're gathered around that table.
Yeah.
And so
It reminds me of a couple of different tables that I'll tell the story of quickly.
yeah.
When my parents bought their first nice table, that I remember when I don't know how old I was. I was probably, I don't know, maybe still under 10. But it was this big pine table, soft pine, but it was stained dark. It was really nice. It was really nice for us to have as a family. It's like we hadn't really had a nice table up until then. And so then we had it, and at some point I was filling out I think it may have been an application for like some work I was going to do or something at the table. And you know where this is going. So like I had the paper there, and I was just filling it out, no big deal. But making sure my handwriting was legible, I was putting a fair amount of pressure on there. So I lifted it up, and oh no, because it made indentions of my name and stuff in the table. And I was like, oh no. And so at first Mom was really upset. I mean, she didn't she just said, oh. And then like every year that went by, as I got older, she'd go and look at like my name in the table, and it was like really special. And then when they needed to go on and get a new table, I was already married, and so they gave that table to us. So I got the table with and then at some point we got rid of it. But so it's gone now. But it's kind of interesting because tables physically can hold a memory, a scratch, a name that's kind of pressed in,
Right.
or but even if that's not the case, they hold all these memories because the people we've gathered around, the stuff that's happened there,
Where else do you sit that closely with the people that you love in your life? To sit side by side around a circle.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of opportunities for that in just day-to-day life. A lot of times we're scattered, especially now. I think, kids go off to their bedrooms. They already have their computers and TVs and whatever else right in their bedroom. There isn't a lot of time spent just with the folks that we're closest to like that.
And part of me is sad about that, and part of me says maybe I don't yet have the eyes to see what the table of this generation is. Maybe that because as we get older, we mourn the passing of iconic sorts of things, but then there are new things that are coming up, and I don't know what those are exactly. But.
Well, that actually helps us transition into what we're going to talk about.
Sweet.
Which is actually a book today.
Awesome.
I decided to use a book rather than an article because it's something that was recommended to me a while ago, and I got it recently and have started taking a look.
We'll put this up on the screen for you.
So the book is titled The Art of Gathering, How We Meet and Why It Matters, and it's by Priya Parker. And our family actually runs a camp here in
Right,
the Black
right.
Hills. And so one of the things we are constantly doing is gathering people.
Yeah.
And so when I think about the art of gathering, the kinds of gatherings we have there at the camp are almost always those really beautiful, life-giving, joyful kinds of gatherings.
Right.
And so it got me thinking about, so what makes that kind of gathering like that? And some of the other gatherings we need to do, like, staff meetings or conference gatherings, not feel like that.
Sometimes those tables don't have such great memories.
Right. So I just thought we could take a little look. I'm not going to go through, all of the
You want to read the
themes.
whole book to us?
No.
No, okay.
But I do want to share a few quotes that we can offer here on the screen as well.
Great. Yeah, these will be up on the screen for you.
So there are several things that this got me thinking about, a couple of which I've highlighted in the beginning and in her introduction. One of the quotes that it really struck me was, "Much of the time we spend in gatherings with other people disappoints us. With the occasional exception, my mood in conferences usually swings between boredom, despair, and rage. We don't even seem to be thrilled with the time we spend with our friends." And this really struck me because I have felt this too. Have you ever been invited? The Super Bowl was recent. There's big Super Bowl parties and things like that. You get invited over to your friend's house for. There's a little part of me that just kind of wants to stay home.
That little part of me did stay home.
So did I. But
I know what
you
you're
know
saying.
what I mean?
Though. Yeah, I do.
There's this opportunity, maybe, pre-COVID, we're going to go to a movie or we're going to gather with friends to do something, and there becomes this side of me that just doesn't really want to. Kind of want to stay home. And it's not that I don't enjoy being with the people. It's just that the thought of gathering and sort of being on, maybe makes me tired. I don't know.
Do you think is it? I mean, I've and because I'm introverted, so it's real easy for me to stay home. But I always felt like there was a little. It always felt a little competitive, Social things always feel just, and maybe I imagine that, but I feel like I'm either on display. I've got to perform, and so that everybody likes whatever I've said or done, or there's a competition that I'm going to check out of. It's like I'm going to let so and so have the limelight because I don't really want to be in the competition. I don't know. That's part of what keeps me sometimes feeling like I'll even though I'm going to miss stuff that is really good with people I like, sometimes.
Right. And I don't know, the competition piece doesn't really enter in for me as much, but sometimes just I have this need to make sure people are feeling good about, being together, whatever we're doing, and that's a problem for me. Is I have a hard time relaxing into it until I know the people that I'm with are really relaxed into it.
Gotcha.
And if I'm sensing that someone's feeling kind of bored or whatever the feeling is that isn't a positive one, it's really hard for me to just relax and let them feel that way and me enjoy.
Because you feel responsible?
Yeah, especially if they're at my house.
Oh, yeah, sure.
If we're gathering.
Right.
So a couple other quotes that I thought were really interesting here I'll share. "As much as our gatherings disappoint us, though, we tend to keep gathering in the same tired ways. We reduce the question of what to do with people to a question of what to do about things. PowerPoints, invitations, AV equipment, cutlery, refreshments." That really struck me. So
it's about the presentation, not the people.
Right. And I think of how many times, take the Super Bowl example, how many people spend a ton of time figuring out exactly the perfect thing they're going to serve and the perfect, drink they're going to have and the cute football thing they're going to make.
Exactly what goes into the 7-layer dip and exactly how and in what, how chilled it needs to be, or
So I just love this idea of really thinking about why we gather. And that's really what I thought this focus for this episode would be. When we think about relationships happen through gathering, whether it's gathering in person or gathering on Zoom, or maybe we're on a phone call, whatever it happens to be. Things bring us together when we're in relationship with people. So how do we make sure that the reasons that we're getting together are good and positive and bringing life to the relationship, and not just something that we do out of some sense of responsibility or, something that tires us out, the way that she described here. She shares, I have come to believe that it is the way a group is gathered that determines what happens in it and how successful it is. The little design choices you can make to help your gatherings soar. How to take an ordinary moment with others and make it unforgettable and meaningful. And, she has some themes that are listed in the book. And the themes actually give away some of the ideas of the book. So I thought I might share it. There's just a few.
Great. Yeah, we'll pull up the contents list on that.
Yeah. And so here are some of the things that she suggests. Decide why you're really gathering. Close the doors. Don't be a chill host. Create a temporary alternative world. Never start a funeral with logistics. Keep your best self out of my gathering. Cause good controversy. And accept that there is an end. And so I'm anxious I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I'm anxious to get through this and really think about it and see how that might impact how and why I gather people. Because I do a lot of that. We do it in our work. We gather
our work is about
people
that.
constantly.
Speaking of that one that said, don't bring your best self to my gathering, that really speaks, because, I know that when we talk about like we do retreats and stuff like that for teachers or others, and trying to create a space and a situation and a structure that enables people to bring their whole self, not just the positives, but also the negatives, but not just their joy, but their sorrow. Not it's the paradox of don't come here putting on your best face. Come here putting on your real face and be ready for a real engagement. And it seems like that runs contrary to a lot of the advice that you get about how to throw a good gathering, or even, sadly to say, how to facilitate a good workshop or facilitate it seems like in our profession, facilitating, oftentimes it's all about maximizing the use of the time and I don't know, having a really structured set of objectives up front and everything. And then sometimes, I'm sorry, I'll apologize, cutesy stuff that's like designed to say, oh, that's such a clever little thing. And really it's like kind of stupid. Sorry.
Sorry, Pinterest.
I don't like
folks.
the cutesy stuff. Don't ever call me cutesy.
Well, it got me thinking about camp.
Yeah.
And as many things do. And actually, I was thinking about what makes camp such a really wonderful, for the most part, time.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about not bringing your best self always, I think about when we are at camp and we have a group of kids that come in for a week. They see each other at their best in some ways, but also at their worst.
After 3 days of no shower and
3 days, no
not
shower.
brushing teeth and rolling in mud.
Yep. They're all stinking. They're all, just whatever it happens to be. They've slept in the same cabins. They've
Yeah.
been hiking the same trails. They're experiencing these things that are real. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it boils down to is the reason we're gathering real
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
And even if it needs to be a work gathering, it can still be real.
Yeah.
And I think, with our work with the Center for Courage and Renewal,
Yeah.
creating space by using the touchstones, creating space that is trustworthy, that is safe but brave, where you feel you can speak up.
Well, and the paradox of bounded but open. In other words, it's structured. Yeah, it's structured. There's a structure there. But the structure is designed in such a way that within that structure, almost anything could happen. There's the unexpected can happen. It's not like structured in a way that we're going to be in control of everything, It's
I think about the folks that have come to our Wolakota retreats over
Yeah.
the years, and we don't have that going on right now, and COVID and everything going on too, but so we're not gathering the same way, and people are just starved for it. I hear from people all the time about how they're missing that, and I think that's what it boils down to, is the real, this is who we are. Anything can happen here. There's some sort of unpredictability about it, and yet we know that there are these boundaries as
Yeah.
well that prevent it from spiraling out into something it shouldn't be.
yeah.
And so I really think it's something that when we think about our relationships too, that we are considering, are we being real?
Yeah.
Are we bringing our whole self to this?
I think a big piece of that is pacing. If I make everybody in the room feel like I've got some stuff to take care of and we can't waste any time, then nobody's going to be real. They're going to say, they're going to be, in a way, they're going to be respectful because they're going to say, Scott's got this planned out. Let's just sit still and go through it.
Yeah.
But that makes everybody be on their best behavior and keeping their mouths shut and doing and operating when they're told, and it makes it not real.
Right.
But slowing it down, having it be spacious, having there be some expectation, even some lag, what are we going to do now? Something happens.
Right.
Real stuff.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what it is all about. There's one more little quote from the book that I wanted to share, and it's exactly this. Gatherings crackle and flourish when real thought goes into them, when often invisible structure is baked into them, and when a host has the curiosity, willingness, and generosity of spirit to try. So we're going to try it, but we don't know what'll happen.
That's cool.
We're just going to be brave, and we're going to see where it goes.
Well, that's like one of these episodes.
It is.
Curiosity. The structure's kind of baked in, but who knows?
Who knows
Something
what'll
weird could happen. Something
Like your
crazy.
Your squeaky chair.
My squeaky chair. Yeah. Is it squeaky chair or is it something else?
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
that's kind of where I went with this today.
That was great.
Do you have a quote for us?
I think we do. Yeah. We'll pull it up on the screen. You'll have to pull it up there. Here we go. So this quote is by one of my favorites, Unknown.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Unknown says so many amazing things. So
I've noticed that.
yeah. So I want to be your favorite place to go when you've had a bad day or a good day.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
It is. And it's just about what we're talking about in some ways. I mean, I think it connects really well when we think about who do you want to gather with? I want to find that person that's my favorite.
I think that last
Hang
thing
out
you
with.
read, that curiosity and the fact that the structure's kind of baked in, you kind of know what's going to happen, but also you don't. You know, anything could happen.
Right.
That's a great place to go.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank you.
join us for our next episode, which will be right here, same bat time, same bat channel. Sharla's house. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Take care. We'll see you.